You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
And welcome into MaxPreps SoCal. Over the next half hour, we'll look ahead to some of the state championship matchups and spotlight some of the best performances from last week. Come on in. I'm Chris Hayrie, joined by former LA Charger and Riverview, Florida High School alum Jahleel. Jahleel, the stakes just keep getting higher and higher.
They keep getting higher, and we're excited to see what the guys are going to bring. This is championship football. You got to be at your best. It's go time.
We got a jam-packed show, so let's get right to it. The new MaxPreps State rankings for California. No change in the top 5. All Southern Section teams. Undefeated Serna is the only Northern California team in the top 10 ahead of their Open Division State Championship against top-ranked Mater Dei. Here's a look at the other 10 state championship games involving Southern or LA City section teams. All of these games will be at Saddleback College, El Camino College, and Pasadena City College on Friday or Saturday. As for Mater Dei, the 12-1 Monarchs are set to face San Mateo Serna in the Open Division State Championship game on Saturday night after both teams had a bye last week. It's the second time in 3 years they've met in the Open Division title game, with Mater Dei winning 44-7 in 2021. The last Northern California team to win the Open Division was Concord de la Salle back in 2015. And joining us now is Monarchs head coach Frank McManus. And Coach, such a pleasure to have you on the show. I guess let's go back to the Bosco win. At what point did you guys stop celebrating and then focus on Serna?
You know, it was pretty much right after the game, I would say, for most of the coaching staff. I know the players enjoyed it. On Saturday and Sunday, we gave them the weekend off. The coaching staff, we went right to work Saturday afternoon, and then obviously Sunday afternoon we meet as a staff and then kind of go over the game plan and what film we've broken down up to that point. So as a coaching staff, we got to work it essentially immediately. We're on to the next game, but again, the players were able to enjoy themselves over the weekend, got to work back on Monday, and there's always a little bit of an emotional letdown, you know, the first couple days when you get back to work as a player, especially during a bye week. So we ramped them back up to game week on Thursday and Friday, and then we've hit the field pretty hard yesterday and today.
Coach, when you look at this undefeated Serna team, you guys are obviously picked to win this game. What do you see going through your bye week, watching film on these guys, what they bring to the table? What do you see, what kind of threat do they pose to you guys?
You know, they're a very well-coached team. I mean, the record indicates that, and the fact that they've been in this game for the last 3 years just speaks volumes to their coaching staff and what they've been able to do up in Northern California against really stiff competition. So they're a great organization. They're a great team with a great head coach. They've got a great front seven as far as in their defensively. They've got some really nice-looking skill guys on offense. With a lot of, and there are multiple offense from their offensive standpoint. They get into a lot of different formations, try to create different numbers and different mismatches offensively specifically it'll be against our defense. So it's going to be an exciting game to be a part of. It's going to be exciting to see what they come out offensively and do, and then obviously to see them come out defensively as well.
Coach, when we spoke at the luncheon, you mentioned after that first loss to Bosco how this was still a team in transition as far as the coaching staff and just getting the whole operation 100%. Now that you guys are on the cusp of winning a state title, what is this game going to mean for you, your program, and especially your seniors?
We haven't got too far into what would happen if we win. Like I said, we're still in preparation mode right now. Like I said, this is the second practice of the week. We've got 3 more practices to go through. So we'll deal with how we feel after the mission's complete. But obviously, it would be a very exciting and great moment for everyone if we're fortunate enough to be the victorious on Saturday.
Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck. We're all rooting for you down here at MaxPreps SoCal. Best of luck.
Good luck, Coach.
Appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
You got it. All right, let's move on to the Division II AA championship now. Whittier's Serna set to face Sacramento's Grant High School Friday at Saddleback College. The Lancers reached the championship game after beating Paris's Orange Vista 49-32 last week. Serna trailed 32-22 in the fourth quarter before rallying to score 27 unanswered, including recovering an onside kick. A short rushing touchdown by big number 44, Adrian Castro, gave the Lancers the lead for good, and quarterback C.J. Serna sealed the win. 69-yard touchdown run, finishing with a $164 on the ground. It was the 10th win in a row for Serna, and also the 10th straight game scoring 42 points or more.
It was two good teams going at it. We fell behind early at halftime and found a way to battle back. The kids dug deep and really came alive in the second half, and it was fun to be a part of. There's been a big buzz around campus. Everyone's getting behind us. The community, the whole Serna community, as well as the Whittier community as well. So it's a lot of fun and it's a great experience.
So, Jahleel, this Serna team starts on the ground. They're averaging, 244 yards a game?
Yeah, when you get into the playoffs and you get into the championship around this time of the year, guys are beat up, guys are banged up, and you have to rely on your run game. You have to take away time of possession. When you look at Grant, their offense is high-powered. They're putting up points. They've scored 40, 50 points this year. If Serna wants to have a chance to win this game, they have to rely on their running game early.
Not only because that's their bread and butter, but also to keep that offense off the field, no?
Yeah, you want to keep them off the field. I just mentioned they're very explosive. They're air raid. They can run and gun. They can run it on the ground. They're really, really, really polished on the offensive side of the ball. So if you want to keep them off the field, you have to establish that run game, and pound them all evening long.
Yeah, time of possession going to be important. All right, the Division 5 AA State Championship pits Riverside's Ramona against Chico's Pleasant Valley High School. Now, Ramona won the Southern Section Division 11 championship. The Rams faced off against Torrance High in the regional final last week. Junior running back Sincere Tolbert scored twice, including the go-ahead score in the third quarter. And then in the final quarter, Jeremiah Acosta, the quarterback, scored on an 18-yard scramble to put the Rams ahead 21-13 over the Tartars. Ramona held on for the hard-fought win, 21-16, and they joined Jim Hill on Sports Central the next day.
To beat Riverside Poly, take home a CIF championship, our first outright CIF championship ever in the history of Ramona, is a very, very special thing. To be able to then furthermore go on and play in state. Back when I was in high school in 1989, there was no state playoffs. So to be able to play Torrance in state, get a great victory last night, and then to go and play against Northern California, Pleasant Valley next Friday or Saturday. Very, very special feeling. Very, very honored to be here.
What do you think will be the key in your next contest?
It's all about the lines.
All about the lines.
It's all about the lines. It will definitely have to be the line, because it all starts at the line. They set up everything. The amount of tackles I've gone, the amount of picks Royce has gone, it all depends on the line and the amount of pressure they can give.
See, I can see why you guys are champions, and there are even greater things ahead of you.
This kid's smart. Starts with the trenches, right? We talked about this offense, but how about this defense? They forced 4 turnovers in that win.
I'm talking ball hawks. I'm a defensive back at heart, and I'm talking ball hawks. Royce Mendoza, Chris, 5'4", 120 pounds soaking wet, 9 interceptions on the season. Then you have Jordan Daniels, 5 interceptions on the season. Pleasant Valley is averaging 31 points a game, and they are putting up points. They're lighting up the scoreboard. But the way that Ramona's taking away the ball at a high rate, they give themselves a chance.
Talking about light up, when Jahleel hears 9 interceptions, 5 interceptions, ball hawk, this ball hawk is lighting up right in front of my eyes.
I mean, I love it. I see it. You watch a kid, and he's 5'4", 120 pounds. Where do they do that at, Chris? I have not seen that at all. You are balling. Royce Mendoza, you're balling, 9 interceptions. Keep doing your thing. We're watching you.
Shout out to Royce. All right, coming up on MaxPreps SoCal, we'll catch up with the Birmingham Patriots following their dramatic win over Del Norte. Plus, Spell Gardens is in uncharted territory, playing in the school's first ever state championship bowl game. We're going to hear from the Lancers next.
Hello, my name's Coach Hector Novoa, head football coach for Bell Gardens High School, and you're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Welcome back. The Cerritos Dons were the 605 league champs this season before claiming the school's very first CIF Southern Section title in the Division 12 playoffs. But their run came to an end in the regional final against Wasco High School, losing a defensive battle to the Tigers 7-6. This was a big turnaround for Cerritos, though, finishing at 9-6 with their first winning record in over 20 years. In Division 4 AA, Fontana's Yarupa Hills jumped on Madera's Torres High School early last Friday and never look back. The Spartans led 20-6 at halftime and route to a 41-14 win over the Toros. Senior running back Jordan Pernillo rushed for a season-high 145 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win. Yarupa Hills won the Division A title in the Southern section and will now play for the D4AA state title on Friday night against SoCal High School.
Fans on their feet in what will likely be the final play of the game. Tisdale over the middle, broken up, caught by Jackson! Touchdown! Patriots scoot on over the immaculate reception. The immaculate Devin Jackson.
An all-time classic finish for Birmingham last week. Kingston Tisdale's pass found Devin Jackson to give the Patriots a last-second victory. Up next, Lafayette's Alcalanes High School in the D3AA title game on Saturday.
I don't think I'm over it yet. I mean, it was wild. I mean, just to win a game of that magnitude on that kind of play. I mean, I've played 16 years. I've coached for over 20. I've never been involved in an ending like that.
It was a crazy outcome. We were all excited. Obviously, you saw our guys run off on the field. I was in awe at the end. I didn't even have any words. That was crazy. I mean, never been a part of a play like that. Now we're on to state, and we're the second to do it, so we're trying to make it big time.
You know, I feel like I've seen similar plays in college football, in the NFL. Have you been a part of a play like that?
I haven't been a part of a play like that, but I just feel bad for Del Norte. They played such a good game all the way up to that point, and then this bad defensive back play. I'm a DB, former DB. You have to intercept that or bat it down. You cannot tip it to the other team. Heads up play by Birmingham to stay concentrated on that play and finish the deal.
I tell you, this is the DB coach coming out of you right now. MaxPreps SoCal.
It is. I'm ready to jump out of my suit right now.
Coach Jahleel wants to have a talk, right? All right, let's turn the attention to a new school here on MaxPreps SoCal. Southern Section Division 14 champs, Bell Gardens. Now, Bell Gardens beat L.A. Jordan 28-8 to advance to the school's very first state championship bowl game. And at 10-5, it's the first time in the last 20 years the Lancers have reached double-digit wins. We stopped by practice this week as they get ready to face Strathmore High School Saturday at Pasadena City College.
Friday was a special day, not just for us, but for the community. You know, our school's been around for 76 years, and we've never won a CIF title, yet alone winning a regional title as well. So the community's been here in full force. The kids are excited. The school's excited. It's a blessing for our program for sure.
All right, Jahleel, big spot for the Lancers. What do they need to do to win this game?
One thing, Jordan Poole. For Strathmore, he's averaging 131 yards on the ground. It sounds cliche, week in and week out, you say you have to stop the run. But if they want a chance to win this championship game, they have to stop him.
And the defense during this winning streak has played pretty well, no?
They have played pretty well, and they have to do that again and again and again when this game comes to town, because you can't let them get the running game going. The playbook opens up once the running game's going, and then the defense has a hard time stopping them.
All right, good stuff. Coming up next, we'll look back on another thrilling last-second win for St. Bonaventure. MaxPreps national football editor Zack Poff going to join us to talk about that one. Plus, he'll give us a preview of the game of the week, top-ranked Mater Dei against unbeaten Serna in the Open Division Championship.
Hey guys, this is Chad Johnson from Mission Viejo High School, and you're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Welcome back, everybody. Southern Section Division III champ St. Bonaventure pulled out an incredible last-second win over St. Augustine last week. Final play of the game, the Seraphs went to a double-pass trick play to tie the game at 20, and the extra point was the difference as St. Bonaventure came back to win 21-20. They're on to the CIF State Division 1A championship against Folsom High School.
At St. Bonaventure, we expect to be playing in these games. You know, I grew up as a ball boy here and starting to coach. My first year coaching was our last state championship. And so we talked about how we need to return to glory. And so we expect to be here. This isn't going to be the first time you're going to see us in this game. But, you know, we're confident in ourselves. You know we're playing a tough program, a storied program in Folsom.
In Division 1AA, Mission Viejo continued its dominant run in the playoffs, handing El Cajon's Granite Hills their first loss of the season, 49-21. It was a rout. We talked about sophomore quarterback Luke Fahey last week. and he starred for the Diablos in their win. Fahey passed for 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, also ran for 79 yards and a score. They'll face Northern California's Power De La Salle in the state championship game on Friday night.
The number one thing I tell my guys here is we have to match their effort level and their physicality and how hard they play. You know, that's the number one thing we have to do is be able to match their intensity. If we can match their intensity, you know, I think we have some opportunities to move the football. I think we have some opportunities to get stops and make this a great game.
All right, it's that time of the show. MaxPreps national football editor Zack Poff joins me. And Zack, let's start off with those Diablos and their matchup against perennial Northern California Power De La Salle. Diablos looked really good last week.
Yeah, man, this team is rolling. They're playing their best football of the season heading into this state championship game on Friday night. And, hey, this is probably the game, you know, I'm probably looking more forward to this game actually than Mater Dei Serra. I think this is going to be the most competitive game out of all of the state championship games we're going to see over the weekend. You know, De La Salle, they're a red-hot team right now, too. They dropped their first 2 games of the season. They lost to CIF San Mateo. They also lost to Folsom. Since then, they've won every game. And last week, man, they were just firing on all cylinders. They shut out, you know, a very good Clovis North team, 41-0, and they probably should have won that game even more handily. So this is definitely going to be a get-your-popcorn-ready game. I'm kind of leaning NorCal here. I think De La Salle is going to snap Mission Viejo's 7-game winning streak, and I think it's going to come down to just technique and what De La Salle does very well. They're always a very good coach team, and I think that's going to play into factor, and I think NorCal is going to get the win in this one.
Wow, can't wait for that one. All right, what about the Division 1A championship game between St. Bonaventure and Folsom, Zack?
Man, talk about just a crazy ending to a game last week, and you guys showed the game-winning touchdown, but the play before on that spike, it was a near interception, one of the craziest plays I've ever seen, and you know, St. Bonaventure capitalized on a bad punt, and they're able to score on the last play of the game to have a chance to win their first state title since 2008. And Folsom, man, you know, Jake Browning right now, he's puffing his chest out saying, hey, look what Folsom quarterbacks can do. And Folsom got a sophomore quarterback in Ryder Lyons, who's the next great Folsom quarterback. This dude's thrown for over 3,300 yards. He's also the team's leading rusher with over 800 yards. He's got a sophomore wide receiver in Jamison Powell to get the ball to. This is going to be a fun game, and I think Ryder Lyons is going to be the difference in this one, though. I think Folsom's going to find a way to win this one. But this is another game I feel like it's going to be very competitive also.
All right, Zack, finally, we got to get your take on Mater Dei Serra, now just 3 days away on Saturday.
Yeah, man. You know, Mater Dei is the number 3 ranked team in the MaxPreps top 25 for a reason. They got playmakers on offense, but you just look at the defense that the Mater Dei Monarchs have. Their defense stacks up with anybody in high school football. You saw that in the 35-7 dominant W against St. John Bosco. They got playmakers on all 3 levels. Elijah Brown, a very smart quarterback, very efficient. He'll make the big throws when he needs to. CIF San Mateo, man, they got some dogs, though. You know, Jabari Mann, Joseph Bay, these are 2 stud senior playmakers on the defensive side. If these 2 guys can get nasty and make some big plays, get some turnovers, I could see CIF San Mateo making this one interesting and hang with Mater Dei, but I feel like the Mater Dei Monarchs are just too much for anybody to handle right now, especially in the state of California. I expect Mater Dei to bring home their 4th state title since 2017.
Zack, we can't wait to recap all 3 of those games with you next week. As always, we appreciate your time, man.
Hey, appreciate jumping on, man. You guys are the best.
All right, buddy. Still to come, our latest MaxPreps SoCal to the NFL star. Mater Dei legend Matt Barkley will give us his take on the big game this weekend.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Here's a look at the championship games our MaxPreps SoCal crew will be at this week, including Yarupa Hills SoCal at Pasadena City College on Friday. On Saturday, a pair of games at El Camino College, Mayfair against Marin Catholic, and Ramona against Pleasant Valley. Now from MaxPreps SoCal to the NFL. Former Mater Dei star quarterback Matt Barkley was one of the most prolific passers in Monarch history before starring for 4 years at USC and eventually being drafted by the Eagles in 2013. Barkley is now on the New York Giants roster, and I spoke with him earlier this week about what it means to play for Mater Dei.
It really just prepares you to play college football at the highest level. And again, what Bruce Rollinson established over all these decades and what McManus is taking over, there is a standard that the student athletes know, and they want to represent those 3 stripes on the helmet of pride, poison, and courage. That means a lot. It's not just a logo or a helmet. It's just a way of playing and, developing boys into young men. And it's just a really cool fraternity to be a part of.
Jahleel, it's cool to hear one of the stars from the past talk about this program the same way. The culture never changes.
Yeah, it's a rich program. It's a prestigious program. You see how he talked. He said they get you prepared for life after football, on the field, off the field. And if you look at the quarterbacks that have come through Mater Dei, JT Daniels, Bryce Young, Matt Leinart, Matt Barkley, they just continue to produce beast after beast. And we'll see what they do this coming weekend.
Yeah, maybe Elijah Brown is next up, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, tonight's stat to know. We want to shout out L.A. Jordan Bulldog star David Sandy. The junior from Watts rushed for, let me take a breath here, 2,799 yards and 39 touchdowns, accounting for 280 points this season. Jahleel, those numbers led all players in the city section and the southern section.
Let me take a breath as well, Chris. There we go. I'm good now. That is crazy. Those numbers are wild. Those are the type of numbers you see from a guy who plays 2 to 3 seasons. He's done this in 1 season. We see you, David Sandy. Keep balling.
Hey, I'm not going to let you get out this easy. Mater Dei, Sarah.
Mater Dei, Sarah. Mater Dei, I've been going against you for 3 weeks. I will not do it again. I pick you to take down Sarah and host that 4th championship trophy for your prestigious program.
Can't wait to talk about it next week. That does it for this episode of MaxPreps SoCal. We'll see you next Wednesday, same time.